Hello everybody, how are you? I'm Fotini, I'm talking to you from Athens, Greece. I'm a self-knowledge consultant, esoteric astrologer. I am an activator of higher consciousness. I am carrying the energies of the High Priestess. And on my channel, Holistic Healing, you can find codes for expanding your consciousness, activation of your etheric bodies, esoteric astrology, and tips for your expansion and knowing your race and your soul. Sometimes I wonder about what I created and brought since I left my old earthly profession of being an attorney at law, and looking at myself and looking at me now, talking to you out there. It's truly amazing because I'm a totally new person. I released old identities. I released anything that I was identifying myself with, old attachments. As an Aquarius, I'm bringing higher knowledge. And all that I'm sharing, because the channel was a push from my higher self and guides to be open to more people. I am working with people since 2011, but intensively I'm working since 2014, so it's 12 years already. But when I met in 2016, and I have done a video about that, when I met Mary Magdalene in this lifetime, and by saying I met, I mean I saw her in a vision and she guided me, and then she offered me many keys to expand my work and to prepare my program, The Way of the Rose. And then I was connected with other Ascended Master and my higher self, of course, which is an ascended aspect of me. I didn't know and I couldn't predict how far I would go. But I am here in 2026 having fully transcend my identity, my life. This video is a continuation of yesterday's videos where I talked about the importance of the astrological aspect of Saturn and Pluto and preparing for the full moon in the axis Aries Libra on the Fool's Day, the first day of April, which will introduce us to the energies of April, the resurrection energies, as I'm calling them. The formation of Saturn and Pluto first happened in the first month of 2020. And you all remember what happened after that. Now we have, back then was a conjunction, now it's a sextile. It's a harmonious aspect. Saturn is the third ray in the sign of Aries, which is the first ray. Pluto is first ray in the sign of Aquarius, being a 7th-ray sign and a 2nd-ray sign. Generally speaking, and I had all that in my offerings, in my community board, you can search for that, where I'm giving the ray chart based on your astrology map, knowing that the first ray and the third ray are meeting in a harmonious way through the second ray. It's basically unifying the male aspect, the masculine energy, the feminine energy through love. So we have an expression of the Trinity. First ray is the father, third ray is the mother, and second ray is the son, daughter, the Christ. Back in 2020, what was at stake was being centered and choose from the energies of the High Priestess. Exactly 2 months before January, before the conjunction, I offered, through guidance, my first code, which back then was 44 code. 44 code, as the cards also of my Sacred Unions oracle cards, is the code of Shambhala. Shambhala is the city of peace, but it's also the code number of unifying the masculine and the feminine, which is 2222, the 2 master numbers in equal appearance. The sacred code 44 for Shambhala was the key code, the first code I was given during October, which is a Shambhala month, on October of 2019. I channeled the code. Right now you can have the code with the initial of 244, because you have to receive it through the Christ consciousness, which is the second ray. When I received the code through my multidimensional self, I channel the whole code. You can have the code, and the purpose was, as I was explained, to unite the feminine and the masculine within, which is the known term Eros Gamos, which is a Greek term that first Plato used. Plato is a former incarnation of Saint Germain, the Chohan of the seventh ray, the Aquarian ray. In this code, without me knowing, of course, consciously, as it was a channel for higher dimension, I was describing what was to come in humanity. I didn't know that. I channeled the code and I shared it with my clients all over the world. At the beginning of 2020, I received a message that something big was coming, and I was guided specifically through my higher self that I had to withdraw from consulting my clients what to do. It was enough that they had by then the codes, and they had to choose by themselves. The point of choice happened in the middle of January 2020, and it is the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto. And why was that important? Because when the masculine and the feminine are equal within, they open the third eye, because the two energies are united in the third eye. And then the body is grounded and can discern. That's why I'm saying that I'm carrying the energies of the High Priestess. Seeing with your third eye the unseen and beyond the scene is exactly the energy of the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a term that first was used in Atlantis and then in Greece. And it has to do with the veil that the High Priest in the Eleusinian mysteries was performing the mystery without seeing, because you have to see beyond what is visible, because everything is first in the quantum field energetically and then in the physical. In 2020, humanity was under, let's say, a similar attack as it was a little while before the fall of Atlantis, and it had to do with power games. Power game is the byproduct of the mind, and whenever you have a power game, you have the imbalance of the masculine and the feminine. It's so simple, because both are equal representative energies of the one God. There isn't better or worse, or there is higher or lower. They are both expression of the one God, masculine and feminine. But the fall of Atlantis was due to the imbalances of these two energies, the masculine and the feminine, controlled by the mind. So, in 2020, the connection between Saturn and Pluto, Pluto is the underworld, the ruler of the first ray, power, willpower, and Saturn, active intelligence, the feminine energy. So when these two connected, they created like having a simulation of the same energy like the one before the fall of Atlantis, when the high priestesses and priests in Atlantis have warned the people what to do, and they left the temples just before the drowning. Exactly the same was me giving the codes 3 months earlier, because I was a high priestess in Atlantis. There is no point in saying my name back then. So, humanity faced what it came, and it was all about discerning that that was a power game, and that they had, each and every one of us, had to choose. And the point of choice wasn't what it presented. Behind in the unseen world, as I said at the beginning of the video, was to make a choice between fear, control, and love, and trust. And 6 years later, now, 6 is the number of total balance, 3, 3. 33 is the code of Yeshua, the Christ. The same aspect astrologically is coming back, but this time in a harmonious way, in a sextile, showing that again there is an opportunity of being in alignment between the masculine and the feminine, as long as you have the code, and as long as you have harmonized these energies within, so that you can pass the gate of the energies of April, which is, I'll describe the resurrection energies, through the portal of Gemini, in the sign of which Uranus, the ruler of the seventh ray, is going to enter. This is a continuation of those energies. But right now, the test is how you proceed after what you have learned. Millions of people are in a worse place. Others are in a better place. And a few percentage of humanity has already ascended. That means that they are beyond the illusion of choice. And I'm using the term illusion because fear is a created control illusion. And you all know from where it's coming. The point is that this is a planet of Christ consciousness. This is a planet where you learn and to embody Christ consciousness. And in order to embody the second ray, love, wisdom, you have to have wisdom. That's why I was guided to start my channel, name it holistic, and all it's the symbol of wisdom. And Pallas Athena, the goddess whose name has my natal city, Athens, is all about wisdom. We just crossed the year of the snake, which is the symbol of wisdom. And nothing is random, nothing isn't out of alignment. In the cycle of evolution upon Earth, there is a God plan, but not all humanity is upon the same evolutionary path right now. A great majority of humanity is out of alignment, controlled through fear. And there is no good or bad for that, because this is a process. Each soul must be awakened, and this cannot be pressed or controlled, no matter what is happening. If a soul doesn't choose to awaken, it's okay. It will come in another lifetime and in another and another. But let's talk about what this important aspect that is now currently happening, how this aspect opens the gate of the harmonious aspect of walking in alignment. If you have in full, if you have fully integrated your masculine and your feminine, and they are in flow, in love, and in a harmonious way within. And how do you know that practically? Your heart, mind, and your mind must be in alignment, and you have to have your thinking mind, or let's say your monkey mind, totally at peace. This is the code 244. If you are operating totally centered from your heart, in the shorts of my channel, you can find a very good meditation using a short meditation using instrument and music to center yourself. You can use it. If you are centered in your heart and allow the heart mind guiding you, then you are connected with what I call the true timeline, the golden timeline, which, by the way, is the Christed timeline. It's the love wisdom. It's the sun. Sun with O, sun with U. It's the same. And you follow the golden path. You follow the narrow path, the third eye. You follow the narrow path between the opposites, between power and between intelligence. You walk the narrow path of love. It's where the two, masculine and feminine, are united. That's why in the sacred symbol of the Vesica Pisces, you have the two cycles, which is the feminine and the masculine, and then you have the third in between. And the relationship is in the between. And don't forget that the full moon in Libra is all about relationship. And relationship is the relationship that you have within and is reflected outside. Whenever you don't have a harmonious relationship with anything that is happening outside of you, you are not accepting it. You are fighting it. It means that there is something within you that you are still fighting. You are still fighting with something within. That's why peace is coming, not through external circumstances, because the external is shaped through all perception. That's why the heart mind has to do with what you feel inside. I know that it's easier said than done, but that is the path that humanity is now, how can I put it, is now co-creating. That's why we are entering in the Gemini trajectory, which is about duality, and that's why you can find another video on my channel about the actualization of bifurcation. Because what started back in 2020, now you are going to see it happening. There will be the ones who will feel at peace and living their lives and living what they have chosen, and they will be the ones, and maybe this happened in the same city and in the same suburb. And the ones who will be at fear, they will struggle, okay, because it will be a matter of the internal sense. And these are the energies of the High Priestess. It's all about what you feel. It's not about what you see. Jupiter is in Cancer right now, and it will be till the end of June. So it's what you are feeling. It's not what you are seeing. And that started back in 2020. And now it's the first quarter, the sextile. That's why it's so important, and especially this weekend. That's why I'm doing the video. I had a specific confirmation about me last night, which of course it's personal as every experience. But this channel is here to inform everybody how you can be prepared for that. So I'm going to end this broadcast. This is the part 2. It's a continuation of the yesterday video. If you want to have coach, please contact me in my email, or you can search about the code in my community board. The first or the second post there, you can find all the codes with the name attached. You can have your rate chart, you can have an esoteric astrology reading with me, and you can have a 15 minutes free wisdom talking with me, just to see and ask me whatever you want, how you can start working with you, with yourself. This is a self-knowledge channel. Thank you very much for listening. If you appreciate what I'm sharing, I would appreciate your like, your share, or your subscription to the channel. And again, we will be tomorrow together with another video about the astrology, the specific astrology of this full moon. Have a great rest of Sunday. Bye.